Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Christensen. That little puppy just saved your life. We've got... Junket.
Oh my gosh.
We've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
Oh, Dad, I'm going to go into my bedroom with 3 big men.
I'm pretty sure he says adult men.
That's three adult men.
And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
May the forks be with us.
Maybe I'll folk give you if you folk get.
Spoon.
And we have a special guest, Andrew Kimball.
God gave me a gift. I can shovel. I can shovel well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Guys, today we are discussing Mystery Men. This movie came out in 1999. Same movies as The Boondock Saints. Just reviewed that on the pod, so that's crazy. Director was Kinka Usher, which, surprise, surprise, this is the only film that Kinka Usher did. He did like 4 other short movies, and that's it. Like, what? Like, how is this such a great parody?
One of the
like,
greatest masterpieces of all time. And just
great parody. Wow, high praise, Cameron. It was written by Neil Cuthbert and Bob Burden. It stars Ben Stiller, Jean Garofalo, William H. Macy. Can't forget my man, William H. Macy. It's got Kel Mitchell, who's the Invisible Boy. I always think of him from Good Burger. Paul Rubens is Spleen. Ben Stiller, of course, I already mentioned him. Hank Azaria. Greg Kinnear is Captain Amazing. He's also Lance, believe it or not. You know, he takes off the glasses. It fools you.
I knew it.
And Wes Studi, who's Sphinx, and Geoffrey Rush.
I love how
great.
shook
He's
the guy
Casanova.
is, too, when he tells him. He's like, it's me. I'm the guy.
It's me.
It's me. I just wanted
I'm just kidding, but I've always wanted to do that.
I always wanted to do that. And he just looks like so shocked, like his eyes are...
Devastated. Shocked. Dude, he couldn't be Captain Amazing. When he takes off his glasses, he wouldn't be able to see.
Logic.
Oh my gosh. Guys, let's get into what was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast. Why don't you start us off, Cameron?
So I watched this a few months ago with Jordan. It was, I think we watched it. It was me, him, and Tatiana when they were dating, and it was really funny because I had heard this movie quoted all the time in our house that I am the ballerina man, like a billion times, like in our house. And so I knew so many of the quotes. So like putting the movie to the quotes was really funny, and I'm the invisible boy. But you can't be looking when I turn invisible, otherwise it doesn't work.
Can you run that by me again?
How do you know you're invisible if nobody's looking? Well, when you're invisible, you just know.
But you can see yourself, right? No, I can't look at myself, or I will reappear.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, just
brilliant.
It had been quoted so much in our house, and so to finally watch it was really funny to kind of like put the movie to the quotes.
You know what I realized, Ty, is this is like The Boys before The Boys. Like,
oh yeah. Oh,
I'm very self-aware.
Watchmen as well.
This.
Yeah.
Well, it's before its time, for sure. Like, I was like, what was happening in 1999 where they were like vigilante? And then I figured out it was the X-Men. The X-Men were going on, and they were huge at the time, and that's why you had a movie like this that came out. It was literally a spoof of specifically the X-Men.
Just like...
Yeah, Mystery Men, X-Men.
How do you feel about losing your sponsor, Pepsi? I just love seeing him in all the commercials. And
yeah, Greg Kinnear does a great job at being a guy you want to punch in the face so badly. Ever since Little Miss Sunshine, those 2 roles, I'm like, I want to kill Greg Kinnear. Anyway, so Cameron, did you share what it was like watching it recently? Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
You were saying something. Jordan interrupted.
No, you're good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
Jordan,
can quote this movie all day. I'm sorry.
Just shut up. It's all right.
No,
Go on,
you're
Cameron,
good.
please.
You're good. That was everything.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was
so
saying
glad that
you're
we-
good. I was saying as in you can continue
No,
on to the
you're
next
good.
person.
You're good. I forgive you.
Yeah, just sitting there.
All right, Jordan, what was it like watching this movie for the first time or rewatching it for the podcast?
First time, I don't know if you remember, Ty, we watched it on a houseboat.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Is that the one you made the video about with the dun, dun,
Oh, we made a movie every year, yes.
Yeah, when we were out in
Feeling
Lake Mead.
Strange, Surfer Mag.
Yeah, we're on houseboat. We just watched lots of movies, when we got tired of playing in the water. And it's just, this was one of those movies. And there's this amongst like a couple other movies like Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, Starsky and Hush. I can't say it. That's like a tongue twister. Starsky and Hutch. And what's the
But
other
it's so
one?
funny because
Goofy movie.
watching it when we were kind of young, and then like I didn't get half the jokes, and now I'm watching it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it has a whole nother side of the jokes.
Yeah, there's the adult humor.
the
The
adult
side that you can understand. Yes.
Yes.
Funny that's missed.
But
for
yeah,
sure.
loved rewatching. It's such a funny movie. Like I love it even more now.
I think I still don't
Yes.
get some of the adult humor. It's still hidden there. My naive mind,
I'm like, wait, what? How
my
is
pure innocent mind. I don't want to know.
Exactly. So, Andrew, how about you, man? What was it like when you first watched this movie and rewatching it for the podcast?
I watched this first when I was in high school because that's it came out around that time. Just watched it with a bunch of friends. I just remember just laughing, because it is that kind of juvenile humor. I mean, there is that adult humor in there that we didn't know anything about, but it was just so funny. And then like rewatching it, Cassandra was sitting next to me on the couch for some parts of it, and it's so stupid. It's hilarious.
Juvenile was a good word to use. Yes,
It's
exactly.
probably the only movie that I will stand fart jokes in. I hate fart jokes, but
You have to
Spleen
lean to it.
is
The character
awesome.
Spleen, yes.
He is something else. He's so creepy.
Spleen.
Yeah, he makes
When
me
he-
so uncomfortable every time he's on set.
When he's like,
Every time he's on screen, I'm just like, leave, please.
when he's looking at the bowler on when they're sitting at the bar, he's like, making pissy sounds.
Dude, his whole thing where he's just like, I once cut the cheese and I happened to blame it on an old gypsy woman I was walking by. Big mistake! She placed a curse on my head, and she placed a curse on my head because I was the one who smelt it. I forevermore would be the one who dealt it.
Want to see my
So
superpower?
stupid.
Pull my finger.
Jordan used that many a times on me.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
so good.
Funny. Oh my gosh. Brilliant. So I remember watching this movie, Jordan, like you said, we watched this on a houseboat. It was just like a family reunion that we did with our cousins, Brandon and Bridger. We loved watching this movie with you. You guys we would quote it all day long, just the movie back and forth to each other. It's so funny. That was how we grew up, watching movies and quoting them to each other. That and all the Naked Gun movies and Goofy movies. So it's good fun to watch this again. Very nostalgic.
great group movie.
Watching it again, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because I forgot about half the jokes. There's so many funny jokes that play out, visual humor that there's no punchline. It's Ben Stiller doing this physical comedy routine that is so
The part that
funny.
makes me laugh
Oh.
out loud every time is when he goes, and then the little thing in his nose.
The
Got a
blood
little
tissue.
bloody tissue, in his nose. It's not the bloody nose. He just coughs it out or whatever. Or chuckles and it goes shooting out of his nose. Oh,
And
my
right
gosh.
before that, when he walks up
Gross
and
out
puts a
humor,
couple
dude.
coins in it, Ty, for a good cause.
So gross. So watching this is great. It's quotable. There's so many visual gags. I love
Jordan
it.
starts
It's so
blowing
funny.
his nose.
No, it seriously happened today. My nose was running, and I had a tissue in my nose today, and I laughed, and it came out, and I was like,
Oh my gosh,
funny.
dude. So gross.
In
And
Preparation
one thing
for
I would
this film,
say,
of course.
this movie does hold up surprisingly. There's probably things in it that don't, and we can go into those later, but there definitely a lot holds up at this movie. This movie is like almost seems before its time.
Yeah.
But it did happen amongst, Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans were
But
about
because
to be
superheroes
hitting.
essentially have taken
Batman.
over everything.
Yes. Now it's like we need more movies like this more than ever, and that's why you get things like The Boys and parodies like One Punch Man. Like they do exist, but it's just surprising to see this ahead of the curve. It was kind of like when Shaun of the Dead came out. It was like they're making parodies of zombie movies. They're really not part of the cultural zeitgeist, or at least popular culture, right? They're more of a cult following. But this one, it was like such a random one-off movie, and it was so funny at the time. in response to the X-Men movies because they're kind of that campy. These people don't really have superpowers, like arguably absolutely none. Like they are delusional.
What are you talking about? They network. They hang out at the comic book store. You got a network?
I want to stay here and work on my costume. I'm really working on my costume.
Oh yeah, the costumes.
They're all sewing, dude.
Why am I wearing
it's so good.
watermelons on my feet?
And
I don't think I told you
you're
to
trying to
do
balance
that.
First, you must master your rage, or your rage will be the master of me. Is that what
That's
you were
what
going to say,
you were
wasn't
gonna
it? Not exactly.
Not necessarily.
Not
He walks
necessarily.
Have you seen
love
that
it.
guy in anything else? The only other thing I know him from is Last of the Mohicans, and it's a very he's the bad
Oh,
guy,
that's
and he's a
hilarious.
very
Yeah.
serious role.
That is so funny.
So
I just watched that.
to see him in that role,
Such a spoof. Yeah.
oh man,
That's
it was
hilarious.
awesome.
So funny.
That's hilarious. My goodness. I got to say, everyone is batting at 110. It's a great parody. This movie works on its own merits. So I want to get into two of our favorite things. Andrew, why don't you start us off? What are your two favorite things from this movie?
Two favorite things? Well, I don't know. Like I said earlier, sometimes you just need to have some stupid humor in your life. And this is one of those movies. You just, it's a release. And then like you're saying, Ty, the other thing is that we have way too many superhero movies that are so serious. And
Yes.
well, I mean, I guess Avengers has jokes and stuff in it, but that's not reality, you know? And so just to have something fun with it, that's really refreshing. It's a very different show from what you see out there now.
For sure. So how about you, Cameron? What are two of your favorite things from this movie?
I think definitely my number one thing is just Ben Stiller's performance. It's fetching psychopath. I love it when he loses his shiz. I really enjoy Ben Stiller as an actor. I think it's really funny, especially.
Oh, that scene on the limo when they're destroying Casanova's limo.
Scratching it with his fingernails. So good, dude.
Yeah,
You can't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
So impotent.
Didn't leave a scratch.
It's
brilliant.
I mean, for me, I think besides Ed from Good Burger, I think he steals the show. There's so many good characters in this movie, but I think my second favorite thing is kind of what's already been mentioned. I love how dumb their superpowers are. That's like a game that me and some of my friends sometimes we would play at lunch in high school. We'd always talk about superheroes with side effects. Or superpowers with side effects. So you have a super cool you can fly, but every time you fly you crap your pants, and so it's things like that. And so we would talk about things what would be a reasonable side effect to make it to where you we're still partially human, and so be you're.
Well, you heard it here first. The children are the future.
Yeah, well, I just
everybody.
came
You heard
up
it here on
with
the
my
podcast.
great Halloween costume for me and Bruce: Pencil Man and Pencil Boy. We erase crime.
We erase crime.
Strike
You
a
did really
pose.
great, son. You did really great, son. Dude, I want to go as the Waffle Man.
Yeah.
The Waffle Man. With my griddle of justice, I bash the enemies in the head, or I burn them like so. Oh.
Cringe.
And with my true syrup, which is low fat. So I've been working on my theme song Waffle Man! Golden Crispy, that guy's a history. Do you guys have dental help? Dane Cook, dude, pulling a 110. That was a funny cameo. I don't care how his stand-up turned into after. That was very funny. Great comedic timing for that.
Jordan, didn't the director make a cameo?
No, Michael Bay made a freaking cameo.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Who's
he
he?
was the Brewski
Wait,
brothers. The guy, he's and we've got the, what is it
Brewski
called?
Brothers.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's Michael Bay.
Beta House or Zeta
Oh
House
my
or whatever it's
gosh.
called.
Yeah, yeah.
The
And they all
Brewski
drink.
Boys.
Can we bring the beers?
That's Michael
Yes,
Bay.
you can bring the beers.
That
was Michael Bay.
Funny. Yeah. I forgot that is
The
Michael Bay.
Brewskis.
The
Brewskis,
Brewskis.
yes.
You
That
must
is
set them, you can
hilarious.
bring the Brewskis.
That accent, yes.
Brilliant. Jordan, how about two of your favorite things, man? Or did you already get into it?
No, Goodness gracious,
Cameron.
there's so many things I like about this film. But I think kind of going along with Cameron, performance of Ben Stiller, but just the performances of everybody, like they were all kind of batting at 110. They all had really fun moments, lots of fun quotes, which is probably my second favorite thing. So many funny quotes. I could quote this thing all day. Just love this movie. It just makes me laugh really hard. Because a lot of the jokes that I didn't get when I was younger, I was like, I don't understand why everybody's laughing at this part. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is so fun.
Brilliant. For all the things that you guys have said, I like how quotable this movie is. It's very quotable. There's a lot of things that I say that don't even make sense in the context, but you just quote this movie from time to time, you know? I got to give credit to Ben Stiller. I think he's one of the funniest comedic geniuses we have today, and I'm so grateful for him because I think he really holds this movie together. But that's not to say William H. Macy's character, I really like him, and it made me want to watch, after watching this, I'm like, I really want to get into Shameless. I want to see more of William Macy's work, because you watched and Shameless, so I'm tempted to watch that show, even though I know it'd be a pretty hard watch from what I understand. So, yeah. But anyway, I like the performances done, and then the other thing I love is all the rags on and the jabs that are taken at like superhero lore, like the whole idea that Clark Kent can put on glasses and no one recognizes that it's Superman, and he flies around like, and they make a joke of this where literally Captain Amazing, Greg Kinnear's character, he as the rich billionaire, he's just a normal guy. He wears glasses, you know, he's nothing, you know, he's just a billionaire philanthropist or whatever. And then when he takes off the glasses, he becomes Captain Amazing, and no one knows it's him, and except Ben Stiller. He like knows, obviously it's him. Like, I know, he's like, of course it's him. Like, and like everyone is in disbelief about it, and it's so funny to see characters that are in complete denial of like a very simple, like almost overlooking this simple plot point. But to be fair, I've done this experiment where I've seen some people with glasses and without, and a little bit of change in the hair. They can look pretty different.
Yeah, but in this movie, there's nothing different.
There's nothing different about Greg Kinnear in glasses and not in glasses.
Except glasses.
And so I think that's funny. But I even put in my notes, my wife showed me a picture of Zooey Deschanel without bangs. Didn't even recognize her. Try it out. You know Zooey Deschanel, New Girl, and from Elf and all those movies? Zooey Deschanel without bangs, you won't even recognize her. I'm not kidding. Look it up, Cameron. It'll blow your freaking mind. So, because you've only seen her with bangs, right? Anyway, so I just had to throw that out there. And then, so let's get into some of our favorite quotes and favorite scenes from this movie. Shout them out as you guys think of them.
Ty, that's one of the arguments I've heard about from people. They've shown me those pictures.
Yeah, right. Did you see the Zooey Deschanel one? Are you looking up the Zooey Deschanel?
Yeah. No,
it's crazy.
I've seen that before.
Doesn't look like her, right?
But yeah, no, like, because
it
even
will
dude,
freak you
what's
out.
it called?
Like,
if you
who
look
the
at the
heck
movie
is that?
Elf, bro, she looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just look up Zooey Deschanel, no bangs, and you'll be like, is that the same person? I'm just saying, it blew my mind when I saw it. That's why I'm bringing it up like 8 times on the podcast. Check it out. Anyway, you know what, Jordan? Don't mess with me, man. I'm a volcano, and I will go Pompeii on your butt. So funny, dude. Well, maybe if you didn't smash my face with a shovel, we could do a few more wins to bring in.
Yes, their banter is so great, back and forth.
So funny, dude.
And they literally have an argument, the same kind of argument we talk about our name and on the podcast. Ty's like, it makes no sense. They have the same argument in this bar. They're like, it makes no sense. Like,
you know, one thing that
about
I really
the Blue
loved
Raja. Sorry.
was the Blue Raja. Yeah, Ty.
Yes.
And he does a great accent, I think. But what makes it better is that you know that it's not a real accent.
Yes.
Whereas this is actually one of my nitpicks. Jeffrey Rush's accent bugs me so bad because he's Australian, and I don't know if he's going for German or like Romanian. I don't know what kind of accent he's going for, but it just doesn't hold up with him, I don't think.
Interesting.
But because you know that the Blue Raja's accent is fake, it's sold.
Yeah, it's like he's like a parody of himself too. He's like the classic villain who has an undiscernible foreign accent, right? Like and it's garbled at times. It's ridiculous. Like Hank character, like literally, what does he talk to his mom or something like that? Right? He's vomiting. He's got
Mom,
no
how many
accent.
times have I told you not to come in the door when it's closed? Are you doing the weed, Jeffrey? The weed.
I love too when they're having the conversation. He's like,
Or the marijuana.
and again, forks. You couldn't throw, knives
knife-
or something.
I'm
I'm
not-
not stabbed, man.
I'm knifey boy.
I'm not knifey boy. And he's like, I have to return my mom's china set or whatever. He's talking about the cutlery. He's like, I got to return my mom's cutlery or something.
Didn't
So
expect to
funny.
see you so spoon.
Boon.
People who don't use a fork when chewing make me furious. So good, dude. It's so ridiculous.
I just came here for the women.
He's in a nursing home.
Dr. Heller.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not crazy. He's like, it's okay. We will come back for all you people.
Andrew,
like,
I
hey,
knew
what
you would
can I
enjoy
get
the
you?
puns, dude.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
It's
Love the puns.
so good.
Love them.
And the nonchalant, like the so self-defeating Ben Stiller humor in this movie. Like when he's like at the diner, he's like, "Yeah, could I get some ice?" He's like, "I just had a little mishap with Justice defending the nursing home tonight." It's so ridiculous. Like the lines in this movie are so
I
funny.
love when he's like, I'm probably going to die. So, I mean, if you don't hear from me, it's probably because I'm dead.
Because I'm dead.
Dude, their kiss is
Yes.
awesome. I love their kiss.
So if you want to say anything, you better do it now.
Better do that. I love too when he's just like, when she's like, "Oh, I thought Captain Amazing did all that." And he goes, "Oh, let's all be good little automotive droids and believe everything we see on TV." It's so funny. Like
Jordan
Ben
says
Stiller
that,
has,
he,
he just
Jordan
has my
says that
number
Ben
for
Stiller in
humor.
this movie reminds him of me.
Dude, I get the feeling that Captain Furious would have been a big anti-vaxxer, man.
Yes.
He's so funny though, dude. Don't believe everything you read on TV. Be a good little animatronic droid. He's so good. So funny.
Yeah, just because he's like got such a short fuse, Cameron.
Yes, he does remind me of you.
I only have a short fuse of stupidity.
Those
Oh my gosh.
one-liners by the Sphinx. Oh man, they're beautiful.
Silent but deadly.
Oh, I'm not the spleen. I'm talking about the Sphinx. He's terribly mysterious.
Yeah. What is
What's
his
his superpower?
superpower?
He's mysterious.
He's terribly mysterious.
Terribly mysterious.
Terribly mysterious.
His superpower is that he's terribly mysterious. I think he cut some guns in half at once. And then he's like, I didn't hear that.
So great. And I love that they're all like have miserable home lives. That just adds to the humor. Like each one of them is like a washed up loser living at home. Like it's so funny. Like he goes and he works at this car junk shop and he's just like, I was up all night fighting crime, but you don't really care about that, do you? Junket! Junket! And he grabs the stress ball, squishing it. That little sucker just saved your life. So funny. Gosh, so funny. I'm trying to remember other... and the girl with the bowling ball of her dad,
She's talking to her
dad's dead head. Yeah, she's talking.
No,
The
Dad.
skull and so she's like the only one with a good legitimate superpower. She has like a magic bowling ball she can throw around, and will Captain America's shield come back to her? It's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
funny.
so it's
Talking
not
about-
even really her power. It's just her dad's head, right? Her dad's skull.
Yeah, the Invisible Boy has powers, huh? Did you forget?
It's
That's
true.
true, yeah.
Yes,
That is true.
That is legit. He
That's a
comes through with the
legitimate
wind. He actually, yeah. He
Dude, okay,
actually
that
turns
scene reminded me
invisible.
of the Never-Ending Story with the trying to get past like those scariest like watchful towers, dude. That's what it reminded
Those
me of.
Sphinx or whatever they're
Yeah,
called,
it's
right?
like
Yeah.
it can tell if you're unworthy, and I'm like, what the shiz? And I'm like,
The eyelids start cracking open, the lights peering through. Oh my gosh!
That movie should be
Still
rated
doesn't
R,
beat.
bro.
Still doesn't beat. Artax!
Oh yeah, the horse drowning in like
Watching
the
horse.
spook sound.
Artax, come on! So messed up, dude.
I love it. Disco is not
Okay.
dead.
I love too that Ben Stiller says two things that are so funny. Well, no, he says multiple things, but he says two things that are like he's trying to say phrases that are common. I do this all the time.
Yes,
where
Ty
he
does
starts
this
to say,
a
he's like, I'm a Pandora's box and you don't want to open. He goes, it's Pandora. And he goes, please don't correct me. It sickens me. He goes, I don't need a compass to tell me when the wind shines.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? So good. How he doesn't understand these phrases, but he uses them. I love it. don't need a compass to tell me where the wind shines. So funny. Gosh, so good. Oh, and then my last favorite scene was when they go to break out Captain Amazing, and they get to the lair, and he's tied up in a chair, and he's like, okay, so what you need to do is flip the switch, and then flip the other switch. And then she flips it, and he goes, okay, now flip the switch. She's like, oh, wait, I already flipped the switch. Oh, flip it again. He's like, okay, how many switches in total are we flipping? He's like, well, just do it, you moron. He starts yelling, moron. It's like, you're getting really stressed out. He's like, flip it out. And then she flips it, and then the thing just melts him and kills Captain Amazing. He dies. And they're all like, you also, it's like, we killed him. And he's like, I was standing over here. Yeah, he's like, I was standing over here. I didn't have anything part to do with it. I thought that was so funny. I'm going to check his pulse. She goes up and touches his hand. His hand falls off.
I think he's dead.
What did that remind you of?
Okay. I don't think he's going to pull through. Yeah, what is that? Checking a pulse. What was the movie?
Victor
that
Crowley.
he's like,
Victor Crowley.
Yeah,
his
just
face
had
is
a head
just
or
ripped
whatever.
off. He's like, let me check his pulse. He's dead.
His pulse.
The
His face is
Invisible Man
gone.
in Three Amigos, right?
Yeah.
Just drop the hand. He's dead.
I love that. I love that Greg Kinnear was just like insulting them, demeaning them when he was. I thought that was so funny. And like when he's talking to Casanova, I love their banter back and forth. Where he's like, oh, my plan is I was going to kill you at midnight. And he goes, see, that doesn't really work with me, man. He's like, so why don't you let me go and I'll tell everybody that you are cured and it's a win-win for everybody. I'll admit it's not a great plan, Casanova. It's
not
like
perfect.
he's so annoying. It's not perfect. He's so unlikable. I love it. He's got all these sponsor deals. He's this crummy super. This was like Homelander originally, but not as sadistic, right? I mean, like this was the original tool bag.
Not sadistic. Try 1/100.
Not at all sadistic. Hey, but he's still mean. He's demeaning. He doesn't value other people. He doesn't view the other superheroes as worthwhile. Just saying, he's super egoistic and narcissistic. I like it. So yeah, I think he's so funny to see a superhero this evil. I mean, like you could argue Captain Amazing wasn't all that amazing. It was great. So funny. What a great subversion of your expectations. And they do away with him. Like you said, spoiler, they kill him off. It's great.
Yeah.
Hilarious gag where his face gets distorted and he dies. It's crazy.
So what do you guys call yourselves? The Super Squad. No.
Well, and you think that when the news reporter says these mystery men, I got it.
Yeah.
The Super Squad.
No.
Great. No, just brilliant. I gotta say, so one interesting fact about this movie, I look at the Rotten Tomatoes and it's 61% from critics and it's 57% from audience members. And I'm like, I was surprised that people were divided 50-50 on this movie and I can't really figure out what that is. It's 2-hour runtime. Sometimes I feel like the movie's a little long.
Maybe if it was a tighter 90 minutes.
And sometimes the 90s film, it does kind of feel gross. Like, there's something about this movie.
It's a lot of up-close shots, like really tight up in your face.
Yes. It's almost obnoxious at
Especially of
times,
Ben
and I can
Stiller.
understand that.
Oh, but I love those
the
tight
furious,
shots. They make me very happy.
Tight shots of Ben Stiller.
But I'm just talking about like the old folks' home when they just like zoom like right up in people's faces and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
it's very in your face. Yeah, it's very in your face. But
You know, I am bugged also by the timeline. When Captain Amazing is talking to Casanova says we're gonna kill you tomorrow night, and then it's like 5 days later or something after after the mystery men go camping and they do their little sewing tents and they go to the carnival and like there's way too much and you can even see like the night and the daytime in the background. So that does kind of bug me on that.
yeah, it's nefarious plan. Just happens to get killed. And did they activate the machine early? Like, did they kill him? Like, did they kill him with flipping the switches? It seems like they activated it. Yes. Like, the machine probably would have gone off by itself, but it seemed like they literally turned it on and killed him. Like, directly had a hand in murdering Captain
Yeah,
Macy.
they did. And Casanova's so upset that he's dead.
So funny, dude. It's like the Joker and Batman. You can't do away with your antagonist. Dude.
That's
they
true.
need each other.
Yeah.
Immovable object meets an unstoppable force. They just need to be at odds with one another. And if you get rid of them, what's the joy in that, you know? So, love it. Any other last-minute quotes you guys wanted to throw up? Or throw out?
Spit out my nose.
Yeah. This movie, yeah, there's a lot of physical humor, and as far as this potty humor, there's a lot of that. But like,
there's so much
it's
physical.
funny.
Oh yeah, like when they're
Yeah,
robbing
yeah.
the old people and like pulling off
Oh
their
my
like fake
gosh.
arms and like.
Taking their arms, their limbs, and stuff. Yeah, it's great.
So great.
Oh, it's so funny. And I love the superhero tryouts. I think that's such a funny thing that we need to see more of. I love montages, and this is a great montage of all these weird heroes, people dressed up in capes, like wanting to be vigilantes, and somehow their superpowers still seemed more remarkable than the actual team itself, right? I mean, they didn't have any superpowers at this point,
Eddie,
except maybe
I'm
Invincible
gonna leave
Boy.
you. I'm not lying. I'm not gonna come back.
Oh gosh! So,
Or when he-
I have a
What
question for you
does she
guys.
say when they do the barbecue at the
Yes.
kegger at the
If somebody throws up in the
if
pool,
someone- Well,
I will divorce you. That's fair.
that's fair.
That's great. I love it. I love it. And Casanova gets released, blows up the insane asylum the day after or whatever. Like, I
Well,
thought
and there's-
his whole plot.
There's some great visual gags too with it, like the magnet thing when people are all the gangster dancers like are losing all their rings and their belts like fall off and so they're like holding up their pants. It's so great.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's so many good
There's another quote. Sorry, I'm now looking over my notes. When the bowler is first introduced, they're like, "Well, what happened to your dad? How did he die?" And she said, "The police said it was an accident. He had come home late one night and fell down an elevator shaft onto some bullets."
Onto some bullets.
Onto some bullets.
That's right. That's
Oh my
right.
gosh, it's so dumb.
Oh, I love when they're like, "Why don't you? I don't know. Why don't you? I don't know. Why don't you? I don't know. Why don't you?" I love that.
So childish.
So childish.
When they're trying to
So
make
good.
Furious angry, you dress in the manner of a male prostitute.
I love that too when the reveal of Captain Furious is so funny when they're like, "I've seen you move a bus once." And then later, with the moment he needs to perform, he's like, "Well, to tell you the truth, the driver may have had his foot
Well, no,
on the
he said, he's
accelerator
like,
a little bit."
"Well, I pushed it."
I pushed the bus.
may
I
have
didn't
pushed
lift it. Yeah, and he goes, "Oh, no." And he's like,
Well, that
he's
still
like,
takes a lot of
"Yeah,
strength."
well, it still takes a lot of strength. He goes, "Well, maybe the driver had his foot on the accelerator a little bit." So he never moved this bus. His whole reputation, his whole time that he had the superhuman strength
Based on
never existed. At the very end, at the very end, he's like doing a fingernail fight. With, it reminded me so much of Big Trouble in Little China, Jordan,
Yeah.
when they do the little. It made me think of that, dude, when Mao Yang is fighting with the, whatever he's fighting with, the controller with his pinky, the light coming from his pinky. He's like jabbing at him with his pinky with like a long Coke fingernail, basically. He's like jabbing at him and scratching him. It's so ridiculous.
So funny.
Funny last fight, and he finally gets his strength or whatever, and he's fighting him, and it's just like a Three Stooges. Like, he's slapping him. It's so ridiculous. Like, not very harrowing, but somehow it is. Like, it's very endearing to see Captain Furious finally find his...
Well, and I love this year
inner
was when like
superpower.
Smash Mouth was big, and so it was like Shrek, this movie, and
Yes,
Rat Race
everyone-
all throwing the songs and
Everyone did All-Star,
Yeah, so when you're
yes.
watching that now, does that actually seem a little out of place? Like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't
kinda
go with the show at all.
No, no.
oh, just that scene, yeah.
Yes, not at all.
Well, because
But-
I think they paid for the rights for it at the end, and then they're like, well, we paid all this money for it, we might as well use
That's
it earlier.
use it in the film.
Get our money's worth.
Yeah, I mean, it was the biggest song by
It
far.
was,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. And Shrek, I think, probably did it best because somehow that song just disappears in the introduction to Shrek. I don't know how, but I can't separate Shrek with All-Star Smash Mouth. I really can't. Like, it's so funny. It's just synonymous. I talked about this in, was it Boondock Saints or something? There's something else that I'm like, I can't separate it from, can't remember. But anyway, there's some
Is
things
it
that
in,
are...
Rat Race?
Yeah, Rat Race, that was funny.
Yeah,
At the end
I
credits.
know they perform at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
but do they?
He
Oh,
does
they
sing
do
Smash
sing.
Mouth.
They do sing the song. They
I
have a
mean,
whole
sorry,
concert.
All-Star.
Yeah.
They literally have a
That's
concert.
part of the show. Yeah.
It's part of the movie. But yeah, it's great. Oh, they won $1 million. They want to donate $1 million. We might have to do Rat Race.
I
after
love
this,
Rat
dude.
Race. It's
so
funny.
great. That's a great comedy. So we want to ask, do you guys recommend, or do you guys have any other nitpicks real quick about Mystery Men?
No, I think we've mentioned them, but there was maybe one too many uptight shots. I mean, I kind of like the style of it, but there's a few times I'm like, ooh, this is a bit obnoxious. But
It's crazy to learn that this director only did this movie.
That is weird.
Usher did this one movie.
It seems like such a good show. Like,
it's like a Ben Stiller. It's like Zoolander.
Yeah.
It's very
I
in
think
keeping
you
with
said
Ben
it was
Stiller
ahead of its
comedies of the
time.
day.
I don't think
maybe
people
That's
were
true,
quite
too.
like
Right.
a parody to superheroes. What?
Right.
But still,
And
I
even to
mean,
be fair,
like he
I'm
should
sure
have
a lot of
written
people
for
want
like
to see
Saturday
it.
Night Live or something.
Yeah.
Like
Right. Yeah.
that was
Very
tremendous.
And it's so spot on because it still mocks like classic comic book tropes, right? The secret identity and the alter ego, of the superheroes. That it will be timeless because they do it in everything. It's like, I'm talking to my dad, but I have a mask on so he doesn't recognize I'm his son. Spider-Man, they do this and all the things. And I'm like, and you're like, they're just pointing out the obvious. And my favorite is just the glasses. It's the most funniest one to jab at. You're just like, what? Like when they wrote the comics, like how did they get away with this?
Yeah, how
Like,
does
did
Lois
anyone
Lane
buy
not
this?
recognize
How does Lois Lane? She's
her
like has a
lover?
romantic relationship with Superman
and works with
and works with Clark Kent,
Yeah.
like the her coworker and romantically involved, and you don't recognize him with glasses on and off. It's so
And don't
crazy.
you love
Hilarious.
when the Blue Raja's talking to his mom? It's almost like she prefers him to like Jeffrey. Do the accent. Right to mommy.
Right there, mommy.
Cheerio.
Blue Raja. Yeah, it's so funny, dude.
Oh wait,
It's
and
great.
just adding to that when he says Blue Raja, he's like, "You're not even wearing any blue. You're wearing green." It's like it doesn't make any sense. It's totally when Ty's like, "We're reviewing a TV show. Why are we called Future Hidden Movie Gems?"
Oh god, yeah, I do that all the time. The nitpick, right? You're like, come on, dude, get with my costume.
And he tries to explain it like a couple times, but it still makes no sense why why he's called the Blue Raja.
It's like, I have to. This is all from what is like his mother's
like
curtains or
Raja
something
is
like that.
royal and he's wearing green, but it's blue. Like it still makes absolutely no sense.
The Blue Raja.
History,
There's
mother.
no blue to his outfit. Yeah,
The arguments
I
are
love it.
great.
Yes, so brilliant. And again, see, making fun of the costumes again, like I love that whole trope, and they did a really good one. I liked of Invincible, which is a great TV series. I don't know if you watched that one, Andrew. Did you watch Invincible on Prime?
No,
It's
I
a
haven't.
cartoon. It's pretty violent, but it's a lot of fun. I liked it, and there's a great scene where, as a teenager, they go to a costume maker
I would
for
not
superheroes,
recommend
and
it
they
to
like
you, Andrew.
get it. Okay.
Yeah,
like I said, hyper violent, but I loved it. I thought it was a great show.
Ty is
But
too
they have
desensitized to
that
understand
scene
what
where,
regular humans are
as a
like.
high schooler, it's a cartoon. You can watch it. He's a big boy. So anyway, they have a scene
Don't
where
watch
you
it.
get to decide your own costume, and it's like I want something cool and iconic, and I just love that. Like that's what every hero wants, and all these heroes have like ridiculous outfits. Like the funniest thing is the shoveler. He's like, hey, like you got to give your son back the vest. He's like, hey, I bought him this thing.
It's
So it's actually mine. I bought it for him. It's his son's like hockey pad. Or
And then she
yeah, it's
gives
like
him a look. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
I love that. Yeah, William Macy, dude, he's great. The shoveler, he's like a morally good man, but he has a shovel, and
I shovel
they're all just
well,
clumsy.
Lucille. I shovel very
shovel
well.
I shovel very well.
He plays that so straight faced. It's so perfect.
I know, never break. Yeah, that's William Macy.
never
the
breaks
brilliant
character. It's so
stuff
good.
He never breaks for once. So great. Yeah. In the end, would you guys recommend Mystery Men?
Oh yeah.
I do recommend.
Especially
this is a great
today,
parody.
like you guys
Oh,
said,
yeah.
this
Today,
movie
funny.
could not be
Yes.
more prevalent than ever.
Right?
Yeah.
Too much
Yeah,
superhero junk.
I think this is ahead of its time, honestly.
For sure. Well, and who could have predicted that superheroes would be the only movies that existed in the future? Right? I assumed they wouldn't go away because of movies that I love near and dear, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and
Let's
Christopher
make
Nolan's Batman,
3
but-
Avengers movies this year.
let's just keep it coming, And it's like, oh my gosh, like, and even things that I didn't even know, like Shang-Chi could have been a perfectly good kung fu movie on its own, but it's like he's an Avenger too.
Yeah.
Okay, great, brilliant, grand, wonderful.
Did you see that one?
I have not. I got
Cameron saw
superhero
it.
fatigue on what was it, the Black Panther, and then I got super fatigue again when I watched Black Widow, and I was like, I think I'm done. I think
Yeah.
I'm too old for these movies. I think I've always been too old, but like coming to that sad realization.
Unless
where I'm
unless like Taika Waititi does it, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, but even then,
it
like,
is fatigue.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It's formulaic, and that's fine. Like if it's an interesting story with fun characters and quippy dialogue, I'll at least enjoy it and I'll watch them. But now I'm
Or
done
if they
giving
hit it
them my
at an
money.
angle like this movie, like if they hit it at an angle that's like,
Yeah, or different, you know, like I've loved movies like Logan. I thought Logan was so great, like really sad, like a Western style. Mandalorian was kind of fun. See, like these are breaking off from like, but now everything's turning into that. Does that make sense? So now, now it's
I started noticing it with The Flash, you know, when it was this TV show, and you just get the same thing every episode. It's the same story.
Yeah,
I mean,
if they condensed it,
come up with something new.
if they condensed it down to a 10-episode series, like seasons, it would be amazing. But the fact that it's 23, it gets like the drama is so dragged out, it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's too much.
Dude, it's when you get too much money, Cameron.
Yeah,
if you can
right?
make 23 episodes,
we
you
all
do
say
it, baby.
this, but,
Sign up
but
for
if
23
we could do
episodes.
it, right?
Oh yeah, if they give you
let's
the
do
10
it.
episode deal, you take it, and you're like, okay, we'll make 10. If it's like, oh, you got to prove for 23 episodes, you're like, oh heck yeah.
the city is just not ching.
If the Chinese want another superhero movie, let's do it.
Yes.
As long as we favor Japan. No, Mongolians. I hate Mongolians. We hate those guys.
He's like, we have a
watching too
Mongolian
much-
guy who hates effing Chinese people. This can't be okay. He's like, oh,
Are you
Chinese?
freaking kidding me? Yeah,
I hate Mongolian.
We've been watching too much South Park lately for another episode we had for a guest on. So
offensive.
Lots of offensive humor, but it's so funny. Just can't escape it. It's very funny. Lastly, we end every podcast by sharing movies that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward to seeing. Andrew, have you seen any movies lately?
Mystery Men. I think that's
You watch any shows, or what do you do? You
You do watch a few different shows.
We watch shows. Yeah.
Andrew, did you ever watch White Collar with a
Any that you
Cast?
care to share?
No, I'm too ashamed. No, we're watching North and South right now. We got finished with
I don't know
Downton
that.
Abbey.
What is North and South?
It's
Downton
kind
Abbey
of
was
that
great. I loved
same kind of genre, the Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility genre.
Oh, okay. Hey man, no shame. I love Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, I do
It's a
too.
great story. And I'm watching.
I'll shame
What's
you
it called?
guys.
Death
I'm
Comes to
sorry.
Pemberley. Have you seen that?
September.
Death Comes to Pemberley.
No, I've seen the.
It's
on
the
Prime, right?
post. Yes, it is the post. If you want your wife to be swooning, definitely recommend it. It's this episode. It's the post. What do you call it? The story after the Pride and Prejudice.
After Pemberley.
See, I didn't even know that. I don't know anything about it. And I'm watching. I'm like, I love this, and I'm like, all these characters sound familiar. It's like these are Pride and Prejudice characters. I'm like, oh, like obviously all different actors and everything, and it's a different production, but it's still great story. Love it. It's all those Poldark. It's all the.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call them other than period piece romance dramas
Right.
where it's like literally it's all about relationships, and Downton Abbey worked, man. I ate that crap up.
You want to call it a period piece, but yeah, period. It does play with your hormones.
Brilliant. Just wonderful.
Questioning your-
Any other jokes you'd like to get us canceled off of?
There's my puns going in.
Like, I just got done watching Mystery Men. That's hardly as offensive as anything that was said in that movie, dude.
So yeah, nothing. I mean, and we watched The Voice, but that's it.
The Voice.
Yeah.
So you like the competition movies, the
No.
reality shows?
But we like The Voice. I
Oh, there you go.
I really like, because I hate the sob stories. Every person has a story. And it's true. Every person does have a story and challenge that they're going through, but
Dude,
I
that's
don't
I'm telling
wanna-
you. The cheat code is to go on there and say, "Oh, I used to have like special needs, but I was cured," and then you
Yeah.
just kill it.
No, but what we really
to
like
be fair,
about
that's why I like British Baking Show.
Oh,
No sob stories on
like
there.
that one, yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No sob stories, just quirky.
What I really
the
like
bacon
about
cakes.
The Voice is that
And they're crying about it.
they can't see what's going on, right? They can't see until they turn around.
Right.
So I like that. I think that's awesome because we are too focused on
Yes.
fashion and crap like that, I think.
For sure.
But yeah, no, nothing I'm looking forward to necessarily. I'm kind of fatigued by superhero movies and and horror movies.
Andrew, isn't Ariana Grande one of the judges in The Voice, or no?
For this season, yeah, she is.
She's
Cameron.
gorgeous. She's one of my wives.
Now I'll watch it.
no,
Am I
yeah,
saying?
she's one of my wives, dude. She's so beautiful,
It's one of your wives.
and she has the voice of an angel.
All right, you're done gushing. Jeez. My goodness. Jeez,
Go
Cameron,
ahead,
don't get
Dad.
too excited on the
Ariana,
pod, all
marry me.
right?
Marry me.
My wife.
It's showing too much. All right, Cameron, keep your shirt on. All right. So I was going to ask, do you like sci-fi, Andrew?
I do, yeah.
You should go see Dune. It's coming out on the
I
22nd.
have.
Keep your eyes peeled.
I watched the old one, and that was good when I watched it once.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I tried to watch
I
it
haven't
again,
seen
and
it.
it's just too slow.
Yeah, I
It's
understand
way
the
too
movie's
slow.
kind of has its problems, and I wanted to read the book, but I'm like, you know what? I just want to go in fresh eyes. I want to watch the movie, see how I like it, and maybe I'll go read the book afterwards. But I just want to not know too much about it, and I don't know much about Dune, so I'm kind of excited.
I've been way more into audiobooks.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right on.
audiobooks.
What books do you like listening
the
to?
sci-fi. I like the fantasy. Brandon Sanderson is an awesome writer. I love his.
Yeah.
If they made his, actually, he finished out a series for another author named Robert Jordan, and the series is now going to be published in Netflix in November. I'm looking forward to that. It's called The Wheel of Time.
The Wheel of Time.
So they're going to do a TV series because it's like 18 books long.
Oh, wow.
And the books are not like these little short chapter books. These are like 1,000-page each. So this series could go on forever.
Did you and Cass watch the Heart and Bone, or Shadow and Bone, I think it was called, on Netflix? It was kind of one of those like teen romance, but I mean but it does kind of feel like a period piece as well, because it's kind of like the Airbender. They all have like special powers. I think you and Cassie might like that one. If you like the fan, it feels reminiscent of Harry Potter meets Twilight, and I know that's probably not a good selling point, but I enjoyed it. It's just fine.
Yeah,
And I
Andrew
don't
does
really
not
like
like the
Twilight.
Twilight movies.
I don't either. I don't like Twilight. I'm just saying what it's
Send
like.
that recommendation to me again, and I'll look over it.
Yeah. You and Cassie can make a decision, but I think that you would like it. I enjoyed watching it with Maddie, so. And again, it's just fun to watch something semi-original. I mean, it's not. It's like the Airbender meets Harry Potter meets Twilight. So anyway, take with that what you will.
You're talking about Avatar Airbender?
Yeah. There's like people with special powers. It's kind of fun to watch that part of it, because you're like, oh, it's exciting. So it was exciting, I will say that much. And great characters. Kaz, you'll meet them all. So I will text that recommendation to you. But
Awesome.
Shadow and Bone, it's called. And it's on Netflix. So, of course, I canceled Netflix. I refuse to give them their money because they're all about that. I just can't have any part in it. But I love their content.
But he
and their
will
shows
mooch.
and all those poor innocent. But I will mooch and watch
Until
with
the end
other
of time.
people, and I'll recommend their shows. Yep, exactly. I just won't give them my money. That's where I draw the line. Still enjoy their content, but they will not get a dime from me.
I understand the mooching
So,
part.
yep. Yeah,
Sorry,
we all
Jordan.
do. Jordan, we love you.
No,
We just wanted
Jordan
to
kicks my
thank
kids
you on
off
the podcast.
Netflix just for
I
fun.
I just didn't. I forgot that you guys have kids. I was like, who's on the account? Everybody's working. And then so I called up the people, and I'm like, somebody's using our account. Like, kick off everybody off the account. And so they kicked him off, and then I realized, and then all of a sudden you guys started texting, wait a minute, like, our kids are using it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I really don't like Netflix anyway, so.
No, well,
Dude, it's nonsense. It's garbage.
yeah, that was a total accident. Sorry about that.
Don't do any programming for your children for any shows that were created after 2010. I'm not kidding. It's a dumpster fire. And the messaging they're going to push on your kids are going to surprise you with some of the garbage they're going to spew out from what they're learning from shows.
Yeah,
So
Looney Tunes
watch
is
everything,
not all that
everything
much
you need to
better,
know.
though.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But
true.
I'd rather them be dumbed down and lose brain cells than be political activists at the age 5, okay, and not know what they're talking about. So that's just me.
Yeah, I
I'd
get
rather
it.
them be happy little
I
ignorant
wholeheartedly
dummies.
agree with Ty.
just-
Zodiac came out in 2007.
Awesome.
Everything after that is garbage.
Oh, brother.
Not really at all what I was saying, Cameron, but very good, very
love
good.
it.
I still want to recommend a movie to you and Andrew, everyone. I mentioned it last episode, The Courier, or The Courier, I don't know how to say
boring,
it.
dude.
Benedict Cumberbatch. It's a Cold War spy thriller.
Is he gay
It's-
again?
It's fun. No, he's got a cute little lovely little wife, but why would that matter, Cameron? Are you
Gay?
gay?
I am.
That doesn't make any sense, Ty.
What are
Nice
you, a
comeback.
gay boy? Yeah, what yeah.
Ty was
are
really
you-
trying to
I
surf
was
through
trying-
his options of how can I make fun of him.
Yeah, and not sound like a bigot myself, but yeah, how do I insult you?
Well, I am.
Oh, the word's
gay.
Are you a Cameron?
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh.
Cameron, what I'm saying is this movie is good. You should check it out, regardless of Benedict Cumberbatch's preference, all right? And he happens to be married to a cute little English girl. It's a very
Well,
sweet
I
movie.
prefer it in movies where he's gay.
It's not a girl. She's a woman. She's a full woman. Why you got me
Full
focused on that character? She's just a full woman.
She's a full
Oh, I don't even know what
woman.
I'm talking about. Watch The Courier. Gosh dang it. Gosh, I sound like such a weirdo. This is the problem with PC. I gotta be on my tiptoes because I'm afraid I'm gonna offend somebody.
Right after you just used the F word.
You franken. That is a movie in this movie, right? Yeah. When he calls him a franken. I love that. I don't like your tone, franken. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. Like us, share with your friends.
Cancel Ty.
Push it on all your families. Cancel me. Come at me. I've got harmful opinions. Come and censor me, bro. And thanks again for tuning in to Futro Hidden Movie Gems. This is Futro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Peace.
See ya. Thank you.
Spleen.
Blue Raja.
Cheerio, Mummy.